We set out from the hill station of Mount Tabu, descending from 4,000 feet to Udaipur, also known as the City of Lakes, and even the Kashmir of Rajasthan. The 160-kilometer journey takes about 3 hours, at times passing through beautiful India, and at times traveling through frustrating India. The famous lakes soon emerge. It's been an enjoyable trip. In Rajasthan, it's the camel that crosses the road. We arrived in time to see the setting sun and enjoy, with a multitude of local tourists, an evening by the lake. The camel is one of the main attractions, and I got a couple to pose for me. It's the state animal of Rajasthan. And if you come here, be sure to try a camel milk ice cream. You can get gulab jamun and cottage cheese flavors, as well as vanilla. The kids love to have a ride. The camel can carry 1,000 pounds, so the whole family can climb aboard. After shots of the enigmatic camel, it was the turn of the horse to pose. Lakeside on a beautiful autumn evening is a wonderful experience. Maybe take a boat ride. India is an enigma, Beauty and the Beast, a contrast of old and new, glamour and tranquility, squalor and splendor. Once we expect that, we can enjoy it. Part of the experience of India is that I'm always seeing things I never saw before, experiencing things I never experienced before, and beginning to understand things I never understood before. Enigmatic is a useful word here. Our good friend Samuel was showing Dr. Alex and me around. Udaipur is a popular tourist destination and, in addition to its 7 lakes, is known for its history, culture, scenic locations and palaces. A must-see place is the Moti Magri or Pearl Hill, a beautiful memorial on a hillock above the city of the Rajput hero Maharana Pratap, where there's a bronze statue of him astride his favorite horse, Chetak. There are also great views. The city palace is a palace complex situated right in the city. It's the most visited place here. It's one of the largest palace complexes in Rajasthan and took over 400 years to finish. Construction beginning in 1553 by Maharana Uday Singh II as he shifted his capital from Chittor to Udaipur. It's said to have a flamboyant style in a fusion of Rajasthani and Mughal architecture, and is certainly very well maintained, offering the visitor insights and interesting facts. This is where the elephants were tethered, and the raised parts here were used as pillows by the elephants. The distinctive Mughal architecture here, reminiscent of the Taj Mahal, Pinjore Gardens and Nishad Gardens in Srinagar. Not only remarkable for its beauty, but the building is very high, towering over the city, and even to this day is a spectacular sight. These balconies were used by the king in times past to greet the crowds. Images like this of the sun are to be found all over the palace. They depict the sun god that blesses the people outside and the king inside. It provides great views of the Taj Lake Palace constructed in 1746, now a hotel. I have to admit I was amazed to see trees growing on the 4th floor. It was like a roof garden, but instead of the usual potted flowers and shrubs, there were trees. One of the guides informed me how it's done.
We're on the 4th floor, and there are trees. How can that happen? Because the palace is built on a hill. So,
you've heard of email? This is P-mail. Pigeon mail is what they used before stamps and computers. The inside of the palace was quite elaborate, even fountains, which I presume in the hot desert area had a cooling effect. From up here there were great views of the city. A room of mirrors was very impressive. This is where Veer Vinod, the history of the Mewars, was written. The early Italian fen providing a little comfort from the heat. Another strange sight, tiles depicting biblical scenes, Mary and Joseph with Jesus on their way to Egypt. I have to say the lake palace is very impressive from this viewpoint. Many of the rooms inside have been preserved, so the visitor may see what life was like back then. This is the Queen's Palace. The place was quite crowded, and it did remind me of Jodhpur. Inside the palace is a large depiction of the sun god. Apparently they believe they get a blessing by being in its presence. It was like an Indian Tutankhamun. I was constantly amazed by the attention to detail. There are few plain walls, and the murals were very elaborate and intricate. It was a must-see place, but Samuel had planned another trip for us. A boat trip. The best way to see the city is from the water, and we're about to motor around the lake palace. I love the water, rivers, lakes, the sea, so I'm looking forward to this. Surrounded on all sides by history, a little disappointed by the weather, but wanting to get a close-up view of the palace. Off we go. The Lake Palace in recent times has become the Taj Lake Palace Hotel and known as the most romantic hotel in the world. It was built in 1746 as the pleasure palace of Maharaja Jagat Singh II. I remember friends of mine stayed here years ago and they loved it. The cost is now around $550 a night. We then hired a smaller private boat to get a different perspective. Jagmandir Island Palace in the distance. It also allowed us to see the city palace from a different perspective. From this angle, we can better understand the way it was built, encompassing the hill. The shoreline was clearly expensive real estate. I learned that a James Bond film, Octopussy, had been filmed here back in 1983. It was great to simply spend a little time in the evening looking around Lake Pichola. I must say, Udaipur lived up to all my expectations. Another great chapter in my travels in India.